Give me 2 seconds. Story 9 has the detail that makes the whole situation feel staged. These viral Reddit stories start normal, then one tiny choice turns them into a problem nobody agrees on. Story 1 starts with the kind of moment most people would ignore. I thought I knew who was wrong here, but the details changed everything. Kohls wouldn't price match Black Friday, so I followed their policy very carefully. This happened over Black Friday. Back in October, I bought a vacuum from Kohls online for in-store pickup. It normally sold for around $330, but I paid $250 and got $50 in Kohls cash, which I used the following week. No issues there. When Black Friday rolled around, I noticed the exact same vacuum was now selling for $150. I reached out to online customer service to see if they could refund the difference since I had bought it online. They told me they don't do price matching or price adjustments during Black Friday promotions. Nothing they could do. While I was chatting with the rep, I looked up my order and noticed the return window was 90 days and I was still well within it. I pointed that out and tried using it as leverage, asking if they could just refund the difference instead of dealing with a return. Still no. At that point, I told the rep that if that was the case, I'd return the used vacuum to Kohls and just buy it on Amazon instead. They didn't budge. So I did exactly what their policy allowed. I ordered the same vacuum again from Kohls for $150 with free delivery. That purchase also earned me $30 in Kohls cash. When it arrived, I took the unopened box to my local Kohls and returned it using my original $250 receipt from October. I fully expected them to deduct the $50 in Kohls cash I'd already spent from the refund. But they didn't. End result, full $250 refund, $100 saved, plus an extra $30 in Kohls cash. No rules broken. Just followed their policies exactly. I still do not know what I would have done differently, and that is why this story stuck with me. The scary part is how ordinary the first warning sign felt. Story 2. This one feels normal for about 10 seconds, and then it turns. I was trying to keep it together, but this situation broke something in me. I lied my way through a job interview, got hired, and now I'm in over my head, but no one seems to notice. I applied for a job I wasn't qualified for out of desperation. I'd been unemployed for 4 months, rent was due, and I was down to my last $300. The job posting was looking for someone with 2 to 3 years experience, in a field I had barely touched. I had none. So I Googled some terminology, watched a few crash courses, and walked into the interview like I belonged there. I threw around a few buzzwords I barely understood and smiled a lot. Somehow, it worked. They offered me the job the next day. Now I've been working here for 3 weeks, and every day I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope. I have 20 tabs open at all times: ChatGPT, Reddit, Stack Overflow, YouTube tutorials, just to survive the day. What's crazy is no one has said anything. My manager compliments me. People come to me with questions. I'm scared they'll eventually realize I'm improvising everything. But at the same time, I'm learning fast. I've already automated part of my workflow. I fixed something yesterday that the team had been ignoring for months. I don't know if I'm still faking it or actually growing into it. But I've never been this motivated, or this scared, in my life. Now we are getting divorced, and I still cannot believe one wedding changed my life like this. The scary part is how ordinary the first warning sign felt. Story 3. This one feels normal for about 10 seconds, and then it turns. I was trying to keep it together, but this situation broke something in me. My dad secretly paid off my student loans, but I found out how he did it and I don't know how to feel. 2 months ago, I got a letter saying my entire $68,000 student loan balance was paid off. I thought it was a scam at first. But after calling the servicer, they confirmed it. A family member made a full payment. I immediately knew it was my dad. He's always been supportive, though not the emotional type. I called him crying, thanking him. He brushed it off and said, "Don't worry about it. Just focus on living your life." It wasn't until last week that my mom told me how he did it. He sold the Harley he's been restoring since before I was born. The one he used to tell me would be his retirement ride. He sold it quietly, to some collector in another state, and used every penny to clear my debt. He's 61. Works maintenance at a plant. His knees are shot. That bike was the one indulgence he ever allowed himself. I don't even know if I should thank him again or apologize. I feel both incredibly loved and incredibly guilty. He traded his dream for my freedom, and I don't know how to carry that. I just needed to tell someone because I can't stop thinking about it. Now we are getting divorced, and I still cannot believe one wedding changed my life like this. That is the moment where most people would pretend nothing was wrong. Story 4. This one feels normal for about 10 seconds, and then it turns. I need a reality check, because this situation got messy fast. Boss said I must use my vacation before month end, but also, no one can take time off, so I read the policy. Company sends a shiny HR email, subject line all caps, "Use it or lose it." We had to burn our remaining PTO by the 30th or it evaporates into the sun. Same day, my manager announces in stand-up that due to quarter end, no one can take time off until the 1st. I asked how to reconcile that. He shrugs and says talk to HR, HR says talk to your manager. Cute loop. So I opened the handbook, because I am a petty librarian when annoyed. Page 14 has this little sentence I never noticed. PTO requests not explicitly denied in writing within 48 business hours are considered approved. There is also a note that partial day PTO is allowed in 1-hour blocks. Thank you, legal team. I submitted 10 separate requests. 2 hours every morning next week, 2 hours every afternoon the week after, a random Friday 3 to 5 to watch a plumber, and 1 full day to visit my mom. I sent the requests in our HR portal, which auto-emails the manager and CCs a shared mailbox nobody watches. Then I went back to my tasks and set reminders. 48 business hours pass. No denial. The portal changes each request to approved, green checkmark, confetti GIF. Monday comes and at 9:58 I put a cheerful note in the team chat. Heading out, see you at noon. Manager pings me to hop on a client call. I reply with a screenshot of the policy and the portal approval. Silence. Then 3 dots typing, then nothing. By Wednesday our calendar looked like cheese. Half the team remembered they also had PTO sitting around and started filing it in little blocks. Meetings kept colliding with green bars. Finance realized that if we did not use the days now, they would be paid out at separation later, which they hate. HR wrote a new post saying we should coordinate, but that approvals already granted stand. My manager called a huddle to ask why productivity dipped. I said we are following HR's instruction to use PTO. He said he meant in November. I sent him the original email timestamped this month. He sighed and said he never thought anyone would actually read the handbook. I used every hour, took my mom to lunch, and my plumber fixed the cursed sink at 3.40 while I drank tea. Next week a new policy appeared. PTO must be requested in full-day increments during quarter end, and managers must respond in 24 hours. Thanks for clarifying, truly. I still do not know what I would have done differently, and that is why this story stuck with me. That is the moment where most people would pretend nothing was wrong. Story 5. This one feels normal for about 10 seconds, and then it turns. I need a reality check, because this situation got messy fast. Oh, my rich friends. We can't be friends anymore. So, tonight, an acquaintance I haven't spoken to in at least 5 years calls me. Marcus, I'll call him. Marcus did make a little chit-chat, then they ask me what I'm doing for work. I say I am between full-time stuff right now, but looking. They agree that the job market is hard, and how they are divesting themselves of a business that they've had for decades as the suckers aren't buying anything anymore. I give a little laugh, because that's a weird way to refer to clients, but maybe Marcus is a little down. They then mention about their home in New England, and their home in the West Coast in a highly desirable area on the beach that they want to split the entire summer between the two locations because it's so hot in the South in the summer. I say something along the lines of, "That's a heck of a problem to have," and we laugh again. That's when they drop their entitled request on me. They want someone to care for their extremely obese, nearly bed-bound elderly auntie that lives with them. 7 days a week, no days off, for 3 months. The best part? This home is not air-conditioned. They want to offer a fellow human $200 per week since it's light duty, but they say I'd have my own room. I own a home, so that isn't of interest to me. I explained that I was going to have to pass on this amazing offer, and Marcus got really insulted. He whined and said they didn't know anyone as nice as me, and since I was a flight attendant before this, I know the first aid and serving food stuff. Again, I declined and he was confused. I said, "Would you work for $200 a week?" "Because I won't." He said he would call in a week to see if I changed my mind. Blocked him as soon as the call ended. I still do not know what I would have done differently, and that is why this story stuck with me. The scary part is how ordinary the first warning sign felt. Story 6. This one feels normal for about 10 seconds, and then it turns. This sounds simple at first, until you hear what actually happened. Today I had the most entitled client of my career and I still can't process what happened. Earlier today, I had a new client book me for a mobile massage. I've never worked on this woman, possibly in her early 30s, before, so because of that, I make sure to go through all expectations well before the massage and ensure that my clients get every bit of what they are paying for. So we did just that. We chatted for about 5 minutes before we got started and she was really kind. She went into detail about exactly what she wanted and she asked for a 1.5-hour massage, told me exactly what areas to focus on, she had 0 areas to avoid, pain points, and had reported no pain, so all was golden as far as I could tell. So we finalize everything and start the massage. As we are going, I make it a point every 15 to 30 minutes to check in and ask questions to ensure everything was exactly what she wanted. Every time I asked she enthusiastically said it was perfect and that she was super relaxed, so we kept going. Now, once her 1.5 hours hit, I decided to take an additional 15 minutes to give her a scalp massage, hot towel, and even hot stones. Again, this is after the massage. This is just something I've always added on for my clients as a thank you. And again, I made all of this very clear that this was free and on me. As we are wrapping up and I am putting up all my stuff and getting ready to have her get up and change, she suddenly says to me, "Wait, was that a deep tissue massage?" I wanted a relaxing massage, the pressure was too hard for me. I politely replied, "Oh no, that's what we agreed upon and I asked you about pressure along the way and you said it was perfect?" Did I miss